Hi Gems, so we're gonna do some quick key messages just because I've been like super busy. I wasn't well, so I wasn't able to do any kind of catch up messages. So like the video and comment. I hope you're doing well. The 6 month read is the half price deal. So if you want to look at your next 6 months, it's a steal deal. Check it out below. I am working on the website because some people did reach out and say, Elisa, the website's not there. I'm trying to get the best website. So if you want to book with me, just comment, check the link just below, like the video and comment, okay? It's the weekend here and I'm very, very loud and busy, so if you hear noise in the background, I do apologise, but I can't control the world. And I feel like that could also be a message here for yous, which is I do think a lot of Geminis are trying to focus on their own world, but again, with the external world, there's a lot of factors at play. So I feel like the key message at this time is to try as much as you can to control what you can control and let go of the rest. We do live in a world full of toxic people who are constantly energy harvesting. They're constantly looking to play games, and I think that's what you need to avoid, okay? The Fool. Okay? The Fool is about not caring as well. So I think some Geminis kind of need to look at who you're caring about, who you're giving kind of like spiritual authority to. So the Fool is about not caring, doing you. There could also be a message though, if that externally things are affecting you, to get out, to walk, to give yourself, like the Fool is someone who's into walking, that they're just not interested. But I do think a big message for Gemini at this time is basically the Fool, not carefree, doesn't care, don't care. I think it's also some Geminis are really serious about fixing their life, so you're going to have to get away from people who are kind of this energy. So people who are the Fool are people who are kind of like they're going in circles, they're not committed to anything, they're just kind of living carefree, which is fine. But there's also a consequence for that. If we live carefree, we're not really committing to things, so we're not really going to have good things coming. So one big message for you though is there is people around you who are trying to harvest your energy. They're trying to project onto you, they're trying to bother you, and the message here is, I just don't care. Like, who are you? What is another key message that Gemini needs at this time? The Queen of Pentacles reversed. So again, I think it's about being aware of unstable people. So in other words, stay away from people. If you want stability, if you want to get work, and stay away from unstable people. Some of years this is about you. So this could be basically you're being too carefree and you need to get on top of your shiz. So this is where you start working on your money. You start working on... This can also be where we're unstable in ourselves. Like I said, sometimes it's us, right? Sometimes we're the unstable one. Sometimes we're the one not doing the work. So if you're being too carefree, for the Gemini woman, the Queen of Pentacles is about this is affecting your money. You might be spending recklessly. You might not be, so you need to look at your own behaviour. Okay, so some of you are going to be... some of years, okay, so a message I'm getting is that some of years your energy is all over the place and it's to do with certain connections in your life. This could be someone, a landlord, a parent. I kind of get anxiety. So I feel like for the message for Gemini is that some of you are in some kind of environment and it's creating anxiety. This can be, people who are kind of creating instability in your life. This can also be a relationship. And I feel like this relationship needs to end. So the Empress, see the look on his face, this can be someone who, it's my way or the highway. And I feel like this is making Gemini unstable. It could be making you aggressive. You just don't feel good. So I think the Fool is about taking a new journey, starting a new chapter, leaving jobs, places, people behind who basically, maybe these people are trying to stop your freedom in some way. Because cage people like to cage. Right? So, this is the message. There's something with Gemini where, again, some of you it's yourself. You need to put an end to a relationship. This relationship is not good for you. The Two of Cups with the Emperor with the Death card is, I feel like this person, you need to just start a whole new journey. Like this person is not compatible with you. They don't understand you and you need to let this person go. You're going to be so much better. Your anxiety is going to disappear if you're in depression, if you're just feeling heavy. Some of years it's about... Some of you are being too reckless. The Fool is like someone who just keeps doing the same thing over and over again. Some of you need to sit down and get a plan for money, security, stability, okay? Let's look at the energy that you're carrying. Okay, the night. So this is a person who's not taking action. Some of years again, I do think there's something to do with people who are trying to obstruct your freedom. They're trying to stop you in some way. Okay, this is kind of Queen of Pentacles reverse. This can be unstable people. This can be people who are just kind of, again, your job is to not try to control those people. Okay, let's see what else. There's a lot of jealous, bitter people, and when they can't attain something themselves, they want to stop you. And your job is to not let them. That's it, right? Your job is to say, yeah, I've got stuff to do, I don't care. Some of you, by ending a relationship, that's going to really help you. Some of you taking a whole new journey, leaving a job, that's going to help you, okay? Okay, so what are external factors for Gemini, please? The Ten of Cups reverse. So this would be a community of people who don't support you, a family, people who are not in alignment. If it's a relationship that you want, this person's not going to give you that. So there's something here to do with opposition. This is you're serious about your life, but the people around you are not. You really want a commitment from someone, but the person doesn't. You really want to make money, but you're kind of in matrix 9 to 5. It's not going to work. So Geminis, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So this is the problem with Gemini. You're working in opposition, or you're working with people who are in opposition. You want happiness, you want success, but they don't want that for you. But again, I wouldn't get bitter. I wouldn't care. I'd just remove yourself, remove them. Like that's how to do it, right? So I feel like there's a strong message with this. Some Geminis, I'm getting like a lot of stress. You feel like you're holding the weight of the world on your shoulders. I'm getting a lot of womb. So it could be block creative energy, block sacral. But again, when we commit ourselves to toxic bonds, when we commit ourselves to environments that enslave our creativity, we do have blocks. So again, Gemini's best course of action now is to control what you can control. You can't change people. Stop chasing them. Stop convincing them. Some people are committed to what they're committed to. You're not going to change them. And I think the message here is, what can you control? Well, you can control who's in your life. You can control if you get up and take action and fix what you're in. This is really horrible now for some Geminis. You're really not going to like this. It's quite a sucker blow. But the amount of people who want to see you just stuck, they want to see you down, they want to see it. But I think it's because they know. They know, right? But I just, the Fool coming out as the first card is, who gives a fuck, right? You know, take your shit and put it over there. I'm not interested. Geminis now need to like really be honest with themselves. But I do think something is heavily affecting, especially for the Gemini woman, your womb. This could be a relationship. It could be a very toxic relationship, or an environment. So often if a woman is in some kind of unstable environment, a womb is going to tell her she doesn't feel safe there. Okay, so you're going to be your body is going to be giving you signals. I just don't feel safe around this person. I don't feel safe in this place. This relationship doesn't make me feel safe. Okay, so where Gemini is sabotaging, where is Gemini sabotaging at this time? The Six of Cups, being too friendly, being too nice. You know, I do think some of you Geminis, this could also be the message, like, just because we've got history doesn't mean we've got a future, right? And I think some of you need to live by that now. Some of you, again, I do think some people are taking your kindness for weakness. I think, and remember we talked about some people who really, really want to see you fail. That's people closest to you. Like they're sitting there, they're hoping, they're sending out the energy, like they're really hoping. And like, this is people in your family, this is people closest to you. Who needs enemies when you've got friends like that? So yeah, some of you, it's not even strangers, it's people close to you. And again, I'm not saying throw everyone out of your life. You'll kind of get a sense who that is. We're not stupid. Energy doesn't lie. Gemini's are intelligent people. We know who's riding for us and we know who's fucking us behind our back. So some of you, I think there's connections you need to get out of your life. And again, you as an individual are going to be picking that up. You've got to remember, a lot of people in the current day are committed to absolute bullshit. Their life is a full-on prison, right? And prisoners don't like free people, right? Some of you could be being attacked relentlessly because you refuse to play the game, you refuse to fit into the pack. Who cares, right? This is about your destiny. It's about your happiness. It's about you. It's not about them, okay? So, but some of years, honestly, I feel like with that Six of Cups, this is where you're sabotaging yourself. It, I feel like there's something about the body alerting you to certain people. Your body is screaming at you, fake, not to be trusted. I don't feel safe here. This can be, for example, you don't feel safe sharing things with a person. So that would be a big signal, right? You've got happy news and you kind of don't feel safe sharing something with that person. This is not about going into paranoia and absolute toxicity where you don't trust anybody. This is about common sense, right? And I do think that some Geminis need to get certain people out the life. The Six of Cups is kind of like sweetness, innocence. It can be a person who's being too naive with certain people, but these people are really bad for you, okay? Some of you are living in the past. So that can also be when we're living in the past, when we're living through an old timeline, we're not living in our present. A lot of people do this where they're still living in a past timeline. You need to get into the present timeline. And I do think a lot of Geminis feel very hurt by the people who are trying to obstruct you, stop you, block you. The devil's got to play his game. That's what this all is. So I think Geminis need to stop being so sensitive. You've had enough time to see what this all is. And again, I do think it's time to leave the past in the past, look at where you are now, upgrade yourself, so to speak. And some of years, it's definitely to do with people who are kind of sent by the devil and they appear friendly, but they're a big problem, okay? Again, I think this is about some of years, it's time to start a new journey. That's a key message at this time. For me, the fool is like someone who just doesn't care. Like, I don't care who's against me. I don't care who's supporting me. I don't care what people, I don't care. When you're bored, you're bored, okay? You know, some of you need to maybe look at yourself though. Six of Swords. So maybe you hold on to certain people or you're still living out through the past because maybe that's a better timeline than where you are now. So maybe sometimes we'll live out through an old timeline because where we are is not really the best for us or we're not really that happy, but it's really working against you. I'm getting being on edge, anxiety, your nervous system. This can be people who are getting on your nerves, jobs you're going to. This can be when you're in an environment and you feel unsafe. There's nothing worse than when you're living with people and you're living with the enemy. Like, these people make you feel unsafe, they make you feel unstable, they don't make you feel secure, right? It's not healthy. Okay, so what can we see moving forward for Gemini? I think you're people pleasing too much. That's a big message here. And I think that these people like that. Right, when people know that's how people control you, right? If you're people pleasing too much, that's a way to control you. You owe nobody nothing. You have the right to live in your own identity and do you. So there's something with Gemini where you're people pleasing too much, and it's good to be good to people. It's good to compromise, you know, but people pleasing too much, sacrificing yourself for other people, no. Okay, that's toxic. That's not healthy, right? Okay, so moving forward, what do we see? So we've got the Hangman. So for me, this is where we're receiving kind of red flags. We're receiving divine guidance. For a lot of Geminis, like I said, you've got energetic intruders, you've got nosy people, you've got, so what? Like, bitch, you can watch, listen, do what you're doing. Like I said, I think Geminis need to stop caring. That's a key message at this time. And as long as you're doing you and what is right for you, don't care what other people are trying to do in your life, leave them to it. They'll get their karma. Just don't. But I think the worst thing about this, like I said, is you expect it from strangers. But if it's people close to you, that's worse. Because at the end of the day, these are people who are supposed to be supporting you. These are people who are supposed to love you. These are not people who are supposed to be putting holes in your boat. And the Six of Swords is like people, there's holes in the boat. Okay, so there was another message coming through around feeling really kind of betrayed and alone. But unless the people around you are really supporting you and helping you move forward, I would probably say it's better to be alone. Obviously, if you've got the right people supporting you, then that's good. But if the people around you are kind of just not helping, then it's better to be alone. Okay? But I think some of yous are beating a dead horse, the Seven of Pentacles reversed, and some of yous, the Hangman is, you've got the clear sign, you've got the clear signal about people, about places you need to leave, about changes you need to make. Maybe some of yous were in a heavy kind of maybe some of yous was in a heavy cycle, because sometimes in life it is actually destiny that's working against us. In other words, we have to stay in that chapter, we have to stay in that story until we've got the lesson. For me, the Hangman is we've got the lesson. So sometimes with a person in our life, like, we're kind of going back and forth, we're not sure, but I feel like the message for you is you're very crystal clear about people. Like, how many signs do you need? How many red flags do you need? How many? So that's a strong message here. And like I said, the Six of Swords is a person who's scared to move forward. So sometimes what people do is they better the devil you know than the devil you don't. They hold on to what is comfortable, even though it's killing them, even though they're miserable, even though it's not good for them. They hold on to it because it's like, but I know this though, it's familiar. So a big strong message right now is you can keep doing that, but it's going to come with a lot of pain, it's going to come with a lot of stress, or you can acknowledge the truth. And like I said, I do think for a long time, and you can check out the Gemini read for the 2026, I do think for a long time Gemini has cared too much about other people. I think it's time to step into your identity. The pack loves this. They love when you care. They love that you care about it. Doesn't matter. It's time to reconnect with your journey and do what is healthy and right for you. Some of you Geminis, though I do have to be real, I think this is self-sabotage. Because like I said, Gemini is full of common sense. We can see right through people. We're not deceived. So, but sometimes what we do is we can see the truth and then we just pull the blinders down, and that creates our own pain. It creates our own problem. Okay? So I think a message for Geminis is, and we talked about timeline, didn't we? So I think there's a strong message here around you're living out through an outdated timeline and it's just not going to do anything for you. It's not even about judging the people around you, it's just they're no longer in alignment with the kind of peace or the kind of security or the kind of life you want. So this would be individuals, could be you, if people are dropping you out of their life, it can also be they're committed to growing and you're not. So sometimes you got to flip the mirror. The toxic person is you, and people don't want to be associated to you because you're not growing. You talk a lot of game, you don't follow through. So for Geminis this week, the key message is, are you the reckless person? Are you the person talking, but you're not following through? Growth people do not want to be around those type of people. It's simple. The other side of the coin is, instead of, I think Gemini's, it's about basically you went through a hard cycle where a lot of people in your life really wounded you, they really betrayed you, they really hurt you. But the other flip side of this coin is God was just showing you who these people are. So now you're going to remove those people and you're going to put better people in your life. It's grace. You know, how many people get up every day and they're just surrounded by fake people, phony people, people who are putting holes in the boat, people who are keeping them limited, people who are keeping them small. So even though it feels like pain, it's grace, right? So let me see if there's the star. High frequency. There's something in this reading about high timeline, high frequency. I think also there's a strong message with the Six of Cups coming up as sabotage about the people around us, because the people around us tell us a lot about where we are on a frequency level. If we're around a lot of toxic and kind of messy people, then we've got to look at that and say, okay, right, this is a match, right? Because I'm in this frequency, right? So again, I think what Gemini needs to do is instead of trying to understand why people want your downfall, why they're working against you, why they hate you, all this lower frequency stuff, it's really about, okay, what do I want and what kind of peace do I want and what kind of people do I want around me? And remember, when you get real people around you, they want you to win, they want you to succeed, they're going to be rooting for you more than anybody. Have you ever met a person who wants you to achieve your dreams more than you do? Because I have. Have you ever met a person who believes in you more than you do? Like you're struggling to believe in yourself, but this person like really that's the type of people, right? I feel like the star card is going to energy healing, so the star card will be a person who starts to get really serious about their energy. But some of years the biggest, strongest message here is around, because Geminis are living in the past, or you're living through a past wound, or you haven't dealt with something in the past. You're stuck in a lower timeline than you're supposed to be at this time. The hangman is like enlightenment. The hangman is also like, I feel like some of you are kind of looking at how much time you've wasted. And what they're saying is, don't focus on that, because, like I said, sometimes we have to stay in a certain place or with a certain person for a period of time till we get the lesson. What humans do is they put time on things, but there is no time, right? So lower frequency people think like that. They go, but I've wasted all this time, or I've been in this relationship all this time, or I've done this for all this time. Because sometimes you need to be there for that amount of time to get the lesson. It's not wasted. But the problem is once you've awakened, that's what the hangman is. It's awakening, it's enlightenment. Once you've saw, then it's a choice. It's a choice to stay in the past. It's a choice to stay in a lower frequency. So this week, key messages. And I do think for some Geminis, the world that you're in is driving you crazy. Like the house, the job, you feel kind of stuck. You might be feeling like you're fighting yourself, or you're kind of fighting other people. But I wouldn't do that. If you're in a prison, you can sit there and tear your ear out about how you're in a prison, or you can figure a way out to escape, right? You can think about how you get out of the prison, right? But I'm going to say for the Geminis in here, this is about basically you're in a timeline that's a much lower timeline than what you're supposed to be in. You're supposed to be in a much higher timeline. The people who are attacking you, it's because they want you to stay in that lower timeline. They want you in that lower dimension, because a person who's in a high timeline can't be controlled. They can't be manipulated. But again, if you're still doing why do people do this to me or try and hurt me? Ignore all these kids. Then you're still stuck in that lower dimension, right? So I feel like the message at this time is basically to think about how you're keeping yourself in a lower timeline. And you'll know this because the people around you are triggering you. The environment is triggering you. You don't feel good in yourself. When it's the road of God, there's peace. That's how you know it's the road of God. When you're on the road, when God has predicted your timeline, you're in the road of peace. When you're in the road of trigger and confliction and all these things, it's the devil. You're not. It's not aligned with God. That's how you know. Okay, so. And like I said, you do have to be careful, because what people do is they start kicking loads of people out their life and blaming everyone else. That's not what we're saying. But I do think some of you who are listening to this are like, no, that this motherfucker's out for me. Like, this ain't this. I don't know what this is, but it ain't a friend. It ain't family. And you won't know or not. And at the end of the day, family and friends are people who've got your back. They support you. They're genuine, right? I think some of you Geminis listening to this like really need to work on this guilt, this idea that you owe these people something. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them a seat at the table. You don't owe them anything. That might come from your childhood. So sometimes we accommodate too much, and it comes from our childhood. It comes from toxic parents, toxic attachments. You don't owe anyone anything, Gemini. You don't owe them an explanation. You don't owe them anything. Nothing. Right? There will be people who are good people, to which then you will give them your time. But I love this for you because it's about, also what I'm getting is, instead of trying to fight the world or the situation you're in, work on your own energy. Work on your own energy, right? You are not responsible for other people, but you are responsible for yourself. And you can use lower frequency people as a way to raise your own frequency, raise your own standards. You look classy in front of them, So this is not about, I just feel like Gemini's been fighting something. It could be a relationship, it could be an old version of themselves, it could be an environment, and that's the natural instinct. But remember, that's the primal instinct. The primal instinct is to fight. But the intelligence, the higher mind doesn't do that. It's like, okay, what is this mirroring? What is this what is this telling me? right? And the star card is a person who, again, this is all about reaching a higher frequency. Like I said to you, some of you are going to have to accept that you have come here for big destinies, and the pack is going to move against you. They're going to do everything that they can. And that's just the game, right? That's what the bully does, right? They see someone who's prettier, better, that, you know, I wouldn't care. Low minds, low people, stay in your lane. There is also some with Gemini, though, this week where I feel like, or when you're watching this video, you're being too passive with people. So I think people are playing games or they're doing certain things and they're betting on that you won't call their ass right to town. And I feel like it's like, okay. So I feel like that's a message here, right? It's about don't go looking for drama, but if drama comes, put it to bed. But I love this for you. I think it's more about the stronger message is you're living through a past timeline. And so a person who's living in the past or they're kind of stuck in a lower timeline than destiny has got in store for them is going to feel confliction, that they are going to feel imprisoned, they are going to feel triggered because they're not where they're supposed to be. People who you used to get saturation from or entertainment from will no longer be that because they can't, because you're just not connecting with it. So there could also be a message here about don't judge people. You know, look honestly, take accountability, right? I do think this week, I don't know why, there's something to do with like, this could be a friend who's constantly manipulating or certain people, and I think you're just gonna put them to bed. You're gonna really put this to bed this week. Like there's no joke. It's sharp. It's Queen of Swords. It's King of Swords. You're not playing. You know, but let me see if there's anything else, because 2 wands. So you've got the choice to stay where you are, continue in the anxiety, continue in the frustration. Some years, like I said, this is to do with a past connection. It's to do with maybe your childhood. You're trying to figure out why certain people have done what they've done. But again, it's a waste of your time. I feel like what you need to do now is focus on what brings you peace, what makes you happy, heal. You know, sometimes you need to heal wounds that other people created. Life's not fair. There's a lot of pieces of real low class people out here who do a lot of bad things, and unfortunately sometimes we have to heal what they broke. And I feel like for the Geminis who are like, just, you are stars, right? This is not even me saying it because you're a Geminis, like this is just me saying the facts. The stars in there somewhere. You are stars. And that's what it is. It's jealousy, it's envy, that's it. That's it. Right? And the best way, the best way to hit any low class like that is just be what you came here to be. There doesn't need to be revenge. And also when you do what you came here to be and you're acting from God, you're also divinely protected against these people. It's great. Okay? But in general, I think I also need to really reiterate this, which is some Geminis, you're playing the victim, and I think it's time to take accountability. People are a mirror. People are data, right? They are projecting something back to you. And like I said, sometimes it's just like people are not bad people. They just don't know how to grow. Like that's it. They're just kind of committed to what they're in, and they can't come with you, and you have to let them go. And that's it. It's not that they're bad people. They're just stuck in a timeline, a way of life, and that's it. And if you're going to grow and if you're going to go to start a whole new journey, a whole new way of life, these people are going to have to fall away. So I feel like I want to wrap up with you revising the connections in your life. Money definitely needs to be looked at, inner stability, financial stability, because some Geminis, I think you're really feeling anxious because the world around you is controlling you. There's no worse a feeling, right, than when you feel like everything around you is in control of you, right? Because you're at the whim of other people, their decisions, their moods, whatever they decide. So the message for the Geminis who are like, and remember, another thing I want to tell you is anxiety is not bad. Everybody hates anxiety, but anxiety is a powerful trigger because it's when we feel anxious that we get up and we change something. A lot of people, they allow anxiety to debilitate them, to destroy them. They're like, I'm anxious, I feel, same as depression. But anxiety is just a trigger system of something needs to be taken care of, something needs to be confronted. The more we don't confront it, the more we don't take care of it, the worse it gets. Same as depression. Depression often is people who are stuck in locations, jobs, around people who are suppressing them. There is no depression. And remember, society wants to throw these labels out there, so we're constantly fighting with our anxiety, fighting with our depression. It's a waste of time. It's a low timeline way to look at life. Okay? So you are, I think there's almost like you're less angry, you're less reactive, you're just kind of like, yeah. For me, the hangman is a person who's really coming to that spiritual awakening, they're really coming to that understanding. You're outgrowing people. It could be coaches, it could be groups of people. It's okay. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It means that basically you move into a higher timeline. Say thank you, show grace, move on. For me, I also feel like Geminis are dealing with some kind of masculine, and I feel like this masculine just wants control. And that's not going to work for a Gemini. Geminis love the freedom too much. It's just not going to work. Like, we don't live for men. For the Gemini women who fell into this pattern where you're just living for a man, you've lost yourself. And you need to put yourself back into check. It's just not a Gemini woman thing, not a Gemini woman thing who's in a power. People pleasing for a man, overdoing for... No. Okay? So there's something around... I think Geminis this week need to really reflect on who you are in this timeline. Right? In other words, like, what would make you happy now? Forget about what was lost. Forget about who you used to be. You know, maybe in the past you did big things and you're not doing that now. What's that got to do with now? Right? Anything God takes away, it's for a reason. So I feel like there's a message in this timeline, which is, who are you now? It could also be, what have you learned from that time? Some of you are born stars. What I mean is, and also some of you, what you're going to do is connected to humanity. So if the devil is attacking strong, it's because what you're doing is connected to humanity. He doesn't want that mission to be completed, so you have to be strong. Because you've got God behind you and a whole army of angels. Don't worry about it. Pray, keep yourself in high frequency, and get up and get the job done. Geminis always know the mission that we're here on. That's it. Okay? And I just feel like for some Geminis, you're kind of in a soup of like, either some of you have fell into some kind of addiction or some kind of attachment, or you're living out through an old identity, or you're living out through the past. And some of you are allowing people to create your destiny and your identity. And I feel like that's where the attitude comes in. This is my destiny. This is my pen. Move. So I think you need to be kind. I think you need to be graceful. I think you need to be classy. I think we live in a world full of people who lack class, etiquette, self-respect. And your job is not to match those people, as irritating as they can be. Because what we match, we become. Your job is to learn from those people and say, thank you, but no thank you. And in general, it's to think about, in other words, when we connect with the divine is always telling us what we're supposed to be doing now. It's telling us what we should bring in. It's telling us what we should reject, right? I think it's about focusing on your healing, focusing on your peace, forget about the past. I'm sure there's beautiful memories there. I'm sure there's torturous memories there. Focus on now. That is the key message right now. Stop blaming people, stop getting angry at people, especially matrix people. Because matrix people are tone deaf. There's nothing you can do. Take it from someone who's tried. I'm not being a bitch. I'm just saying, some people, there's levels to life and there's levels to people, and let them do what they're doing, right? I think there's also a strong message here to be graceful while also being the Queen of Swords, the King of Swords. We are not people who are to be trifled with, messed with. That's not going to happen. So I think if you get that balance between being graceful, kind, respectful, and also you're going to be good. So that's the key messages you need right now. I'm sorry, I've been super sick. I haven't been able to create. And yeah, there's just been a lot going on, but I just wanted to put a quick message out there for you. Like the video, comment, it really does help. Let me know where you're at. Did this reading make sense? And you can follow me Patreon. You can book your 6-month read. It's awesome. It's half price now. If you want another read, just comment, Lisa, I want to read, and I can reach out to you. I can send you my email. And I'm working on the website. I just want to get a really good website, because the websites I've been having, they don't really work with the kind of service that I provide. So if you want to read, just pop it down in the comments, or check the links in the description, like the video and comment, and let me know if this made sense. I'll speak to you soon.